This is Riley from MakeUseOf.com, and today we're taking a look at the UHANS H5000, a really cheap phone with a really big battery. It sells for just over $100 and it has a 4,500 mAh battery that's nearly double the size of other smartphones. Out of the box, the first thing you'll notice is how thick the H5000 is. It's nearly half an inch thick to accommodate that huge battery, and it feels noticeably bigger than other smartphones. Thanks to the 5-inch screen though, it's actually a little shorter than most other phones. It's made entirely of plastic, which makes sense for a phone at this price point. Luckily, it feels sturdy for the most part, except for the volume rocker, which can be difficult to press and doesn't give off a great click that registers that you've pressed it. The back panel is removable and is home to the dual SIM card slots as well as the microSD card slot. At the bottom of the phone, you'll find two speakers that actually get reasonably loud. On the top is the headphone jack and micro USB port. The rear-facing camera is 13 megapixels and the front-facing is 8 megapixels, but they're both pretty bad. The front-facing one has especially bad low-light performance that results in super grainy photos. The screen is only 720p, which means things will seem a bit more pixelated than normal. Plus, there's an awkward black bar outlining the whole screen that makes it seem smaller than it is. Software-wise, the H5000 is running nearly stock Android 6.0 Marshmallow. It's nearly stock because UHANS has decided to keep a few of the older Android apps around, like Gallery and Messaging, which have since been replaced by Google Photos and Messenger respectively. It makes the operating system seem older than it really is. There's also an annoying persistent notification if you want to keep the app permissions feature enabled, and a clear all button in the recents view. Other than that, it's pretty much what you'd expect from an Android device. The MediaTek processor isn't the most powerful out there, but combined with 3GB of RAM, it chugs along just fine. I had a few issues with scrolling lag now and then, but nothing terrible. The battery life, however, was fantastic. With heavy usage and 8 hours of screen on time, it made it over 24 hours before dying. With light or medium usage, it could last much longer. That's really good battery life, especially for such a cheap phone. Unfortunately, it doesn't have the right bands to get 4G LTE data speeds in the US, though it should work properly in most places outside of the US. Overall, it's exactly what it seems like, a cheap phone with good battery life. If you're outside the US and that's what you're looking for, it might be a good choice. Head on over to MakeUseOf.com to read the full review and see how you could win a UHANS H5000 for yourself.